It's time to start a new series here on Daily Dose of Aramaic, and I'm so excited to announce we're going to be reading Targum Ruth. Now, about Targum Ruth, the language is positioned on this chart as late Jewish literary Aramaic. We've seen a good amount of late Jewish literary Aramaic as we've read Targum's Pseudo-Jonathan, so the language will be somewhat familiar to us. Most of the writings, Targums, are in this literary dialect. Some helpful resources include that of Etan Levine's The Targum to the Five Megillot, and this is a manuscript from the Vatican Library. It's interesting, we have the Hebrew interspersed with Aramaic, and this manuscript is adorned with micro-calligraphy. If you look close, you can see the Hebrew letters forming the fanciful creatures and the geometric designs. Other material that's useful for studying Targum Ruth includes, again, Etan Levine's The Aramaic Version of Ruth, where he presents a critical edition of Targum Ruth. That's great. Now let's compare it with the Hebrew Bible. Targum Ruth in verse 1 is as long as the blue as compared to the Hebrew in the yellow. And I'm going to use red lines here to show what is translating the Hebrew literally, and then the rest is expansionary material. So as we read this story, it's going to be interesting to see the additions that Targum Ruth makes to the translation. So as we conclude, I want to feature the work of Christian Brady. You may remember that we had a fantastic interview episode with him as we began our reading of the Targums many months ago. He has a book on Targum Ruth called The Proselyte and the Prophet, Character Development in Targum Ruth. And you can keep up with Dr. Brady's work on targuman.org. It's his English translation that Accordance Bible Software uses for its Targum study module alongside the text there of the Ruth Targum. You can study Targum Ruth with Accordance or with Logos Bible Software. The English translation here is from the Aramaic Bible series. Well, it's about time that we get ready to begin reading Targum Ruth together. I can't wait to get started.